Well, I'm back again, and my name is Koike, and also known as Koikimedia on all the social media handle. And once again, for the question being asked continuously, why? Why now have you decided to endorse the President Bola TInubu for a second term? Well, you probably don't hear a lot of these in the news, but it's important that we highlight the importance of the local government. Local government is the closest to the citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm talking about the Nigerians. But do you know that July this year, 2026, is one of the highest being paid out in terms of the federal allocation, not just to the local government, but also to the state? Let's read from the Koikimedia News channel website. You can also check it out, www.koikimediainternationalnews.com. And the headline goes like this: Fact, federal government, state, and the local government shares a record 3.007 trillion naira. I want you to take note of that figure. 3.007 trillion naira in July alone. And the question we should be asking is, why is this fund money, after being disbursed to all the 36 states, the governors, and after it is also as expected, because the full autonomy of the local government has been something that we should be talking about. Why are we not allowing our local government to make use of the funding without any governor intercepting or disturbing this kind of funding that will eventually help many Nigerians across the 774 local government that we have? Let's read further. The federal government, under the current administration, President Bola TInubu, the 36 states and the 774 local government areas shared a record 3.007 trillion naira from the federal allocation in July 2026, marking the highest monthly allocation ever distributed by the Federation Account Allocation Committee, FAC. The record allocation was approved during the August FAC meeting held in Owerri in Imo State, following a significant increase in statutory revenue available for distribution. That means there's more income coming into the country, and there should be more money to be disbursed to the state and also to the federal, but mostly also to the 774 local government. According to the figures from the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, gross statutory revenue rose to 4.359 trillion in July from 3.7 trillion in June, representing an increase of 658.87 billion. That's about 17.8%. Well, for the average Nigerian might ask, how come I'm not getting out of this allocation? The question is, what are the governors doing when the funding gets to their state and then disbursed to each of these local government? The growth was supported by strong receipt from petroleum-related resources and several non-oil revenue streams. That means the funding coming through from the non-oil revenue and also from the petroleum-related sources. However, gross value-added tax revenue fell slightly to 793.968 billion naira from 799.746 billion naira recorded in June. Revenue from the petroleum profit tax, hydrocarbon tax, company tax income, capital gains tax, stamp duty, petroleum royalty, mineral royalties, excess duty, gas flaring penalties increased during the month. So that means a lot of revenue came into the country through all these that I've mentioned. And that is the reason why in July, close to almost 3 trillion naira was disbursed across all the states, and including the federal and the 774 local government. Just to finish it up as well, the FEC also called for stronger compliance by the ministries, departments, and agencies in collecting and remitting revenues into the Federation account. We want to make sure that the funding that is meant to come into the Federation account goes in there and doesn't end in someone or individual's account. Because that, again, is many of what this government is doing to make sure that money that is meant to go into the Federation account does not become an individual account that will be used for their own gains alone. With the July allocation, the three tiers of government have now shared 15.997 trillion through FEC between January this year, 2026, and July 2026. I'll repeat that again. 15.997 trillion has been disbursed from the FEC account to all your state governors, to the local government, but we hope that the governors will work harder to make sure that the poverty in each of our states will be looked into. The committee urged the government to take advantage of the increased revenue to fund productivity projects, implement reforms capable of improving public finances, strengthening economic growth, and raising the standard of living for Nigeria. And I thought I should add this as well. This also, as you can see there, as the dollar and the naira sign. Yes, we need more of the dollar and the naira to be stronger. But for that to be stronger, we need the security to work. We need more industry. We need more investment. And we need more policies by the government to make sure that more investors can come into the country. Because the more investors come in, the more jobs and the more money in your pocket for those that are crying out that there is still not enough employment in the country. And the headline again on Koikimedia internationalnews.com says, NEFAN turnover rises to $1.41 billion as foreign exchange activity rebound. Turnover on the Nigerian foreign exchange market, NEFAN, climbed sharply to $1.41 billion on August 17, 2026, marking its highest level in about 5 weeks as activity in the foreign exchange and market recovery from a significant decline earlier in the month. According to the data from the Central Bank of Nigeria, show that the latest turnover was more than 7 times the $185 million recorded in August. Well, to the average Nigerians, all this might mean nothing to you, but to those that are investors, it means a lot. That means there is trust in the government, that the government policy is working, there's stability, and that means more investors can come into the country and invest, set up more industries that will then eventually become jobs creation indirectly and directly to millions of Nigerians across board. The August 17 figure was the highest recorded since July, when NEFAN turnover stood at $1.53 billion. A total of 394 transactions were conducted during the session, including 174 interbank deals, reflecting a significant increase in the trade activity. The turnover increased to $607.747 million on August 12 after dropping to an 11-week low of $185 million the previous day. Well, to the layman, all they want to know is money in the pocket, and we pray and hope that everyone will make sure that President Bola TInubu becomes the next president come next year, God's willing. 4 plus 4 is equals to 8. My name is Olami Koiki, and like I said, these are some of the reasons why we believe that the only person that is capable of steering the ship right now is President Bola TInubu. Koikimedia, bringing the work closer to your doorsteps.